Hey, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to optimize cold email campaigns like a pro. There is something to be said about campaigns that are performing and they're not performing. Both can be optimized for better results. I'll show you how to take client campaigns sometimes from 1% reply rates to even over 30% reply rate with, say, a 60% positive reply rate on that. So we're going to start by covering the 6 commandments of campaign optimizations. So the first commandment is that thou shalt send enough volume to even look at optimizations. What does that mean? I get a lot of people to reach out to me and ask me about their cold email campaigns, and they think that cold email is no longer working, and then I look at their analytics and they only send 500 emails. It's like 500 emails does not count. I would understand if your argument is that your TAM, total addressable market, is 500 people, then okay, yes, we would be looking at those metrics. But other than that, you should be sending at least 2,500 emails before you make any judgments on your cold email campaigns. So that is commandment number 1, send enough emails. If you need help with lead generation and figuring that thing out, I strongly recommend checking out the first video in the description after you finish watching this one. It will give you a few ideas on how you can get more leads for your campaigns so you can actually send enough volume. Now, also, argument should be said here that this is if you're not sending personalized cold email campaigns, meaning that you're not personalizing every single email that goes out with a lot of personalization, which is something that we're going to cover later on in this video. Cool. Number 2 is thou shalt not stop profitable campaigns. And I wanted to expand on this one. I even took note of this right here. Beginners tend to turn off great campaigns because they think numbers are bad. Pros understand what numbers mean at the bottom line first. So for example, I get a lot of people that read online that 1% reply rate in cold email campaigns is bad, but what they don't get is that sometimes 1% reply rate is all that you need in order to be very profitable. So say, for example, if you get 1% reply rates from lawyers in California specifically, whilst you're directly pitching $5,000 a month, say for an SEO, search engine optimization service, that 1% can be very, very profitable. So let's understand the numbers. Say that so this is a Google search I perform. How many active attorneys are there in California? And I put in the California, that's a typo right there. No worries, we'll keep it in there. There are 181,000 resident active lawyers in the state of California nowadays. So say that you get 1 out of 250 to reply positively to your bulk cold email campaigns. You're looking at 700 plus potential positive replies if you contact your whole TAM, total addressable market. So say that only turns into 200 meetings. From 700 positive replies, you get 200 meetings booked on your calendar. And your close rate, say that's only 25% on code, meaning on people that do not know you yet. That's 50 clients right there, or say $250,000 made if, again, you charge $5,000 a month for your services. So the point is, pros make a qualitative assessment and not a quantitative assessment when it comes to making decisions, as they definitely don't turn off campaigns that are making money, they just improve them. So I want to make sure that was a commandment that I mentioned. You do not stop a campaign that is profitable just because it has a seemingly bad reply rate. Okay? Third is thou shalt always be split testing. You should never only run one variation of your cold email campaigns, because then you do not know if it is working or not because you have nothing to compare it with. And that ties into point number 4. Thou shalt only compare thy results with thy results. That means that you cannot not split test your campaigns and compare your results with somebody else's. It doesn't really work that way. And the reason for that is because, say that I, Felipe, run cold email campaigns reaching out to lawyers in the United States. I may not get as many replies as John Smith reaching out to attorneys in the United States. Why is that? Say that John Smith has a better online presence, or also that John has a more Americanized name that would be more familiar to lawyers in California. For example, it matters sometimes. I'll tell you, I'll be very honest. When I send cold email campaigns to the US, it does perform better if I address myself as Phil rather than Felipe. Reason for that is not for any bad reason. It's just that Phil is more familiar. It sounds more like a familiar name. That's the whole thing. At the bottom of it, it comes down to that. Cool? So always compare your results to your own results. Next, thou shalt accept that email personalization will not make a bad offer work. That means that if you're offering something people do not want, it doesn't matter how much personalization you add in there and how relevant you make the email seem. They just do not want what you have to sell. Even if it's great, say that you're selling the cure of cancer to people that have cancer but don't know about it. they're not going to buy unless they're trying to resell your offer. They were just not going to buy. So even if you personalize saying like, hey, I heard that people in your area are struggling with X, Y, and Z disease. I have the cure. Do you want it? If they don't know that they have the disease, they're not going to buy from you. So keep that in mind, and I'm going to give you better examples as we go on with this video. Cool. And number 6, this is the last commandment we're going to cover here, is thou shalt optimize negative metrics first. Those are the metrics that can hurt your campaigns a lot, such as a bounce rate, such as a negative reply rate percentage, such as a bad deliverability rate. So those are negative metrics that we're going to optimize first. Now, all of that out of the way, let's get to it. First, we're going to get the basics right, and I need to cover this before I tell you how to optimize your cold email campaigns, and I show you some really cool flowcharts. Because if you don't do this, well, everything else I'm going to mention to you in this video is not going to really be that helpful. So let's get the basics right. First, number 1, diversified domains and emails. Do not tell me that cold email does not work if all of your email accounts are from same email service provider. So what does that mean? It means that if you use Google Suite as your email service provider to send cold emails from, and that's all that you have, you can't really tell me that you know what's going on under the hood. You just don't, because every single year, throughout the year, you're going to have one of the email service providers out there have deliverability problems. It's just, I've been sending cold emails for a very long time. I think it's been like 7 years, if I count all the time I've been sending cold emails. And every year, there is going to be, for a certain period of time, an email service provider that is not going to perform. And if you only have one and you're going through the period and you don't know about it, you will blame everything on cold email instead of on your email accounts. Okay? So what is the takeaway here? You need diversified email service providers. Ideally set up with proxies, varied phone number, etc., and from good sources. If you want more context as to what this here means, I will link the second link down below to another video where I break down exactly how I set up my infrastructure. So you can check that out after you finish watching this video. Cool. But as an example, you want to buy your domains from multiple sources. So that would be GoDaddy, Squarespace, Cloudflare, Dynadot, Spaceship maybe. And those would be like platforms that I would diversify my domains on. Notice how I didn't mention some names there. Probably for a reason. Probably because they're not working at this time. So that's why. Next would be email accounts. I'd recommend right now at this specific moment, G Suite, Microsoft 365, Azure, Amazon, and Mailgun. Those are very good sending engines. And I always recommend being diversified across them in parallel. Now, what does that mean? It means that I want to run campaigns with multiple email service providers so that I can see if ever results go down in a specific email service provider. Say that for whatever reason, this is happening actually right now as we speak, I'm getting less results from Azure rather than, say, G Suite. And that's a bit concerning, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send less campaigns from Azure and I'm going to send more campaigns from G Suite. Easy peasy. I know that cold email is not a problem. I know it's just an email service provider problem for a specific period of time. I don't know how long of a period it's going to be, but it usually tends to not last more than 3 months. The only exception to that has been Microsoft 365 deliverability in the last, I would say, 6 months by the time that you're watching this video, or that this video was posted, I should say. It's been quite a hard nut to crack. It's been quite complicated. They made cold emailing very hard. But I think they're going to tone back their spam filters at some point, and there are ways around it. But that's a topic for another video. Okay? Now, cool. Next, if you're using reseller accounts, say that you found a service that sells Google accounts for $2 a pop instead of $7 a pop, which would be directly from Google. I want to recommend you to always compare the results from those reseller accounts with vanilla email accounts, meaning the $7 per month Google account or Microsoft accounts. Okay? So always run those systems in parallel. You will often find, I would assume, or I would tell you, a difference if you set them up correctly, following these instructions. If you want more details as to how to create those accounts, again, it's going to be the second video down in the description. You're going to find it all there. But that's super important. Okay? Next one, DNS records installed. Those are the classics. It's an MX record, so you can receive emails in your IMAP servers. SPF records, which are for authentication. The DKIM records, which is also for authentication. DMARC records, which is to confirm what is allowed to be sent from your domain, and you need to make sure that your DMARC is set up right, meaning that it allows all of your domains to send and that it punishes domains that are not from your signed email accounts to not be sent, and etc. And A records to point your domains. Now, this is all actually very straightforward. My honest suggestion is that you say, start a chat with Claude and you ask it for the right settings, there is not really much of a way you can mess these up. And the process is different for every single email service provider that you're going to be using. So if you are curious on how to set this up, drop a comment down below. I can record a video on this in the future, but it should be very straightforward. And you also feel free to send me questions either in the comments or on my LinkedIn. I'm happy to help you with this. It's all very, very straightforward, but it's got to be done right. Cool. All right, number 3, domain redirect your primary domain. One note here, I have not found domain masking to help with deliverability. Domain masking is the idea that instead of you redirecting, say from 7fo.com to 7figureoperations.com, what you would do is you would point like this. It would be 7fo.com to random IP and random IP to 7figureoperations.com. Oops. So that was like an idea that was getting quite popular in the cold email space. I tested this extensively. It did not really affect my deliverability. So not something I am recommending right now. However, I might recommend and show for it in the future. For now, it's just not something I do. I just set up a 301 redirect to my primary domain from every single burner domain that I have set up. Which, by the way, if this sounds new to you, that you should have burner domains instead of your primary domain, I strongly recommend watching the second video down in the description. It's gonna clarify on all of this and what it means, how to set it up, why, etc., all covered in there. Cool. Let's get into some more good stuff. 4, have an online presence. That would be a good website, being findable on Google, meaning having search engine optimization going for you, being findable on LinkedIn, meaning having your profile public and using your name and making sure your company name is mentioned in there is all very well optimized, and posting some content online about you and or your company. Now, why is that? The reason is actually very simple to understand. Say that you received a fantastic cold email, right? A fantastic, great offer, great cold email, well written. You're really interested. What is the first thing that you do? You look them up online. You go on Google and you figure out if there's anything about them, and you try to figure out if you can trust them or not. And so therefore, you will see a direct correlation of your online presence with the amount of results that you get from your cold email campaigns. In fact, I'll tell you my personal experience with this. I have, since I started my YouTube channel, which is still a small channel, you could arguably say, I am getting way higher reply rates in my cold email campaigns from people saying, hey, I actually saw your video. And that was great. And yeah, I already know who you are. And therefore, we hop on a call, and it's no longer about can we work together, it's how can we work together. So it changes the frame of the conversation. It makes it easier to close people. So have an online presence, even if it's small. Mine is not big. It doesn't really matter from my experience, at least so far. Of course, if it's bigger, it's better, but you don't need to have a massive YouTube channel or a massive following on LinkedIn for it to help you. So yeah, definitely start by having an online presence. No matter how small it is, it will help you. Number 5 is always keep the warm-up on and manage it through what we call a seesaw technique. Now, this is something that I have posted on my website. I can send you a link to this. Let me just get this to load. There we go. So this is on my website. I can send you a link to this. It contains all of the settings that I currently use. These change all of the time, to be very honest with you. So get a hold of this link. It's going to be in the document, which if you want to get the document, link is down below this video. Grab it there. These change all the time. So you want to make sure you keep this bookmarked and you keep on coming back to you. And the reason why this is up to date, actually, is not because I come on this page and I add it all the time. It's because my automations actually refer back to this table every time they change my warm-up settings on Instantly, Smart Lead, and my other cold email sending tools. So yeah, keep that in mind. The link is going to be in the description if you want to grab a hold of this document. Cool. Let's come back. Now, what the seesaw technique is just a variation of warm-up settings with a very high reply rate, which is also explained in the second video down in the description. Again, the video today is to tell you how to optimize campaigns, not to just run cold email campaigns. But I needed to make sure I cover the basics. Cool? But yeah, you can find all of these settings down in the description. Last one, before we get into how to optimize your cold email campaigns like a pro, make your offer great, relevant, and believable. I cannot stress this enough. This is the most important thing ever. I'm even going to highlight it further. I should probably make this bigger. It should be huge on this page. You need to make your offer great, relevant, and believable. It's so damn important. Sorry for the cursing. It's just so important. So what does it mean? Great. What is a great offer? A great offer is an offer that scores high on this sheet right here. So let me modify my screen a little bit so you can see the whole thing. I should probably do it like this. All right, cool. I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit here. There we go. That's looking good. So this is a sheet that I put together for you. It's going to be down in the description. All credit on this sheet goes to instantly.ai. By the way, they were the ones that started the sheet. I found it on their website the first time I came across this concept, and then I slightly modified it and made the resource for my clients at 7FO. But yeah, in here you're going to find all of the pillars that make your offer great. So for example, if your offer makes money, you check this box out. If it saves time, meaning it's done for you, they don't need to lift a finger to get it done. Saves money. It's a priority for your prospects. It's delivered fast, has a clear ROI, is an emerging market such as AI in this current moment. By the time I'm posting this video, it's a growing market also such as AI. You don't need much experience to get started. It's done for you, done on performance, has a guarantee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Rank your score right here. If you get anything that is below an 8, well, good to go. Move on, try your offer out. Here are some examples. If it's anything below an 8, well, then I would strongly recommend that you either do one of two things. Send a whole lot of volume on your cold email campaigns. I'm talking about bare minimum 5,000 emails a day, cold emails a day, or improve your offer. One of those two things is what I would recommend. You could also go omni-channel, by the way. You could run ads, you could run SEO, whatever, if your offer is bad, and just go with it that way. But I would strongly suggest improving your offer whenever possible. Okay, let's get back here. So, cool. Now that we covered that, the next thing is going to be that you need a relevant offer, meaning that it needs to matter to the people who you're sending it to. Same concept as explained before. You could be selling the cure of cancer, but if you contact people that have cancer and don't know about it, it's not going to perform because they don't know that they have the problem. They don't know they have the pain point. And I'll give you an example of how to find relevancy. You could be scraping job boards on LinkedIn. Say the companies are hiring for a COO. What does it really tell us? It tells us that they have a problem with their operations. Either it's disorganized, it's clunky, it's not managed well, it doesn't get enough time. So that means that they are a company qualified to work with 7FO, meaning that I would definitely be reaching out to them. I'll definitely be cold emailing them because they need my help. I can literally help them scale their backend without needing a COO a lot of times, or helping them recruit a fantastic COO that operates on my system so that you can scale way faster. So that is finding relevancy for your offer. And it's super important. If you're contacting people who will not find your offer relevant, well, they're not going to reply. It's not really what they're looking for, and therefore they're not going to show an interest. And the last one, and it's extremely important, and it ties back to having an online presence, is believability. Meaning there needs to be reasons why people should trust you. There should be relevant case studies. So say, for example, I found a job board of media production companies recruiting COOs. Then I'm going to mention my media production company case studies. Say that I found cold email agencies recruiting COOs. I'm going to mention my cold email agency case studies. Another one is having an online presence. We talked about that one before. And having a lot of social proof. That is a lot of testimonials, a lot of people sharing for you, either online, on your website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It really helps. Here's a quick pro tip before we get into how to optimize the campaigns. Make sure you chunk up and down your offer to appeal to your specific market. I'm linking a video right here that's in my channel if you want to learn more about that. It's basically the concept of meeting your prospects where they're at. Meaning, if they don't know much about what SEO actually is, unlikely to be the case, but as an example, if they don't know much about what search engine optimization is, you wouldn't offer them search engine optimization. You would offer them increasing their amount of revenue. You would chunk up your offer. You would project something that's beyond the mechanism. Now, say that they know SEO really well. You're contacting, say, agencies that know SEO. Well, then you want to specify why you are an expert in SEO and you want to go in depth on that. So it's a concept of chunking up and down your offer so it appeals to the specific market that you're reaching out to. I recommend checking out this video if you want to learn more about that. Cool. Now let's get into the beautiful flowchart that you're all waiting for, which is how to optimize cold email campaigns like a pro. So let me pull this up right here. It's a very simple flowchart. You're going to launch your cold email campaigns, and then it's going to ask you for the first question, which is, have you sent enough volume? 500 plus per variation. Remember that you want to have 2,500 as the bare minimum to judge cold email and your offer. Okay. 500 plus per variation is per variation of the specific copy in every single campaign that you're running. Okay. Then the first negative metric that we're going to optimize is the bounce rate high. Is it above 2%? Then first we're going to check what kind of bounces are those, because not all bounces in cold email are the same. It could be that's a 550 high probability of spam, meaning say Outlook is not accepting your messages because they just read so dang spammy. And therefore, what you're going to do is first stop contacting spam filters. You can find that by analyzing your MX records. So you remove spam filters like Mimecast, Barracuda, Spamproof, maybe even Microsoft for some of your cold email campaigns if you have enough leads. Then you're going to reduce the spamminess of your copy. You can use AI to get the tone to be more friendly and casual than salesy. So instead of saying, can we hop on a call sometime this week to run through a demo of our product? You're going to say instead, would it be okay if I share more information about how this works? You see, it went from salesy to a little bit more friendly, a little bit more casual, and that tends to help a lot. You're going to then increase uniqueness, more script variations with more sentence spin syntax, meaning the copy looks a little bit different, so the copy doesn't really get flagged. You're going to remove or spin syntax links if you have any in your cold email campaigns. Remove any HTML you may have in the email as send as plain text only. Cross-check all email accounts. Warm issues like of Seesaw warm-up, bought from resellers, replace them, put them back in the warm-up, and then you start again. Okay? But say that the bounces were actually, and I know, by the way, I ran a little bit fast through those, but the reason why I ran fast through them is because you're going to have access to this specific flowchart, so you can check each and every single one of these, and then it's going to all help you and make a lot more sense. Cool? So I'm just running through them just to give you an idea of what's in this document. The real value is in the document, so definitely click the link down below. Get a hold of this and bookmark it. It's going to be helpful. I keep on updating this document often. So you're going to see the most up-to-date information about how I optimize cold email campaigns in here. Email not found means that you need to revalidate your email list. There's a lot of bounces there from people that don't exist. Or you could have a message blocked, which would be a very similar process to the first time. Okay, so that is the first negative metric. If bounce rate is high, solve it like that. The specific instructions are all right here. And if you have questions about how to do any of them, feel free to contact me, feel free to book a call down below. Link is going to be there. I would love to talk. Okay. Next would be, is the positive reply rate low compared to your own results? Remember, always your own results. Then we're going to understand, why is the positive reply rate low? Is it because your message isn't resonating? Is it because you're contacting a list that wasn't ICP checked first? Meaning, say that you wanted to contact HVAC companies, but you ended up contacting HVAC marketing companies. Well, those are totally unrelated to what the audience that you actually wanted to be is. And therefore, it was not ICP checked, ideal customer profile checked, and it's unlikely to perform. So in that case, you're going to run the remaining of the list through a company and people ICP checker. I made a video exactly on how to set up that automation. Link's going to be down below. Definitely check it out there. Definitely install this in your company if you haven't already. It will make a huge difference. And if you need help setting this up, also book a call down below. Happy to help. This is what I do all day at 7-Figure Operations. And remove spam traps, etc. Okay, say that this used to work and deliverability is likely the problem. Then you increase uniqueness in your cold email variations. Check your email accounts, and etc. All covered in here. If the reply rate is low, again, you understand why is it low? Is it the email accounts that are bad or probably burnt? Is it that people are not in the office? Say it's summer break in Europe. You're not going to find many people replying to you during the time. They're on vacation. Or say that it's a list plus scripts that aren't good. Well, the steps are all outlined here as to what you do in each of those specific cases. And then from there, split test more, beat your winning campaigns, keep on optimizing, keep trying different targetings, different scripts, different offer framings, and etc. If nothing is working, get back to the 6 commandments. This is up to date now. Let me fix it right there. 6 commandments and try again. If nothing is working, then contact me. I can point you in the right direction. I can check what's going on, tell you if it's the offer or anything else. Then leave the campaign alone and try another round of 500 emails. This is the base summary. Again, there is more to this. There is like how to implement each of these steps. So if there are any of these steps that you're curious about, you could ask me to record a video. So drop a comment down below. Would love to do that. Or hop on a call with me. I'd love to explain how this works as well. If you found this video helpful, I'll be honest, I think you're going to find this other video recorded on my channel also helpful. The link is right on the screen right now, and I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for your time.